everybody, this is Jim from Discovery Divers in Japan coming at you today. Yeah, thanks for those who have subscribed. If you think these are some videos you'd benefit from seeing or be interesting for you, please go ahead and pound down on that subscribe. In the same way, if the video helps you at all, please go ahead and like so we know what folks are into. Today's topic is it's for new divers or newly certified divers. It's about overweighting. I see a lot of comments out there on the internet, overweighting, and I'm just going to share with you something that I talked to our divers in training or newly certified divers about overweighting. Yeah, so about this issue, I see a lot of folks that automatically, they'll look at a diver, scraping along the bottom and say, hey, that girl's too heavy, right? And that may or may not be true, right? They might be perfectly weighted but not have enough air in their BC. I think new divers or training divers in their mind, when they're thinking about weight and making choices about their own weighting and how they feel underwater, I think they're often feeling breaking the world down into two possibilities, right? I think they're breaking it down into, all right, if I have too much weight, right, or if I'm too heavy in the water, right? So if I don't have enough buoyancy, if I have too much weight and or I'm not putting enough air in my BC, right? What's going to happen is I'm going to tend to be on the bottom. And in my training area or where I dive, if that's a sandy bottom, well, I know what the penalty of that is, right? I'm going to look like this. And I'm going to kick up some sand, but I'm probably not going to hurt myself, hurt other people. I might be annoying them. But that's kind of a known quantity, right? On the other hand, the second choice, if I'm not wearing enough weight or if I have too much air in my BC at any one moment and I'm unable to vent that air in a timely fashion, the downside is I'm going to pop up to the surface, I'm going to possibly lose my buddy, mess up the whole group. If it's from depth, I might endanger myself. If I'm holding my breath, I could explode, right? I think new divers or divers amidst certification, they're envisioning all these problems with going to the surface unexpectedly, and that's definitely true, right? In a situation where there's a defined depth, that's a sandy bottom, certainly the penalty for hitting the bottom is a lot less than popping up to the surface. Penalty, right? So my resounding advice to these folks, right, while they're training or when they're newly certified is get used to using your BC dump, right? Whether it's from the back, right, that back pull dump on either side, or BCs have them all over, right? You can pull here, you can pull here, you can pull there, you can pop up here, pull this, some of them have amazing number of ways to vent air. But my advice to divers, these new divers, is get used to letting the air out. Be fully confident that you can get the air out of the BC and control your buoyancy in the negative fashion if you need to, in a hurry, if you feel yourself starting to get away, right? Also using their lungs, right? I tell them, right, if you feel yourself starting to get long, exhale like crazy and be ready to use that inflator, right, if you need to. The key, right, so getting the correct weighting, and plenty of videos out there and instructors who can tell you on how to do that. Find out what your correct weighting is for your exposure protection and your tank for that given equipment set, and then be used to, right, having the right amount of air so that with your breathing, your in and out, that you can achieve maybe a 50 centimeter lag, with having confidence that you can have enough air in that BC to keep you off the bottom and not floating away to the surface. And if you are starting to get away, you have the confidence using your lungs, and as a second resort, right, being ready to vent the BC however is good for you to do with one of the pull vents or this, right? Having that confidence. And my experience is when folks have the confidence that they can exhaust the air from their BC as needed, then they have confidence to keep air in their BC so they can stay off the bottom. You're in that position, practice, right? Maybe in a pool, maybe in a shallow end, fill that BC up, let it out, fill it up, let it out, practicing all the positions where you would normally let the air out of the BC. Usually beginners, right, they might spend a little more time vertical, so maybe they're going to be venting like this a lot. But what I recommend for folks, as soon as possible, right, get to that horizontal position and start to learn how to vent air when you're in a horizontal position, right? With our BCs, that means kicking your butt up and one of your hips out so you can vent out of the back right of your BC. That's how our BCs work. You should learn how yours works. And anytime you rent a new BC, have a look and see how that's working out, right? You know, their fins might be pointed downward because of that, right? If you're perfectly neutral, right, then all you need to fin is to go forward, right? But if you're net heavy, right, then your fins need to be pointed down and finning to keep yourself off the bottom, and that's going to be silting the bottom, right? Alternatively, if you're net light, right, your fins are going to have to be up a bit like this to keep you down from floating to the surface, right? So best thing, my advice for these folks is getting the hang of buoyancy, right? Is when you're finning along, one reason why I like the frog kick, take pauses between your kicks and you can feel your buoyancy, right? If I pause from kicking and I'm sinking, then I realize, I was finning or frog kicking to keep off the bottom, right? Or to keep down, right? So if you fin and pause, fin and pause, those pauses let you feel how your buoyancy is in that moment, right? So are you net positive, negative, or are you actually neutral? If you're not neutral, chances are your finning might be up or down to keep you in that position, right? To make you feel neutral when you're actually not. Okay, all right, hope that helps you. See you on the beach. Thanks a lot. Okay, thanks for watching. All right, well, if you like this kind of thing and you think you'd like to see more, I think there's a subscribe button right around here somewhere. And if you are coming to Japan and you'd like to hook up with us and dive, I think right around here there's a spot where you can click, come and have a look at the webpage and see what kind of events are going on. All right, thanks a lot. See you on the beach. Bye.